tear, but we're ready, and we're here with a Valentine's Day edition of this show. I think Hutch is going to be joining us perhaps in a second or soon. Weekly recap. Oh, okay. Nope. Not really recapping anything.
Please don't put me through that again. Please, God.
No, there will be no more 3-hour shows. But we will take questions today. I know that this is, Valentine's Day. I know that other people are not doing their shows and other things. But, if you have a question, please put it in the live chat. But just to get some stuff out of the way at the top, and then we'll get to the questions coming in. This will be the last week that the shows will be this way. Starting next week, the shows will be reversed. Honestly, it's mostly because Ryan and I have been working on topic shows forever, and I would prefer to continue that. And, Josh and I feel like always have good discussions about topics as well. So I feel like just based on the current lineup of co-hosts and everything, the 7:30 p.m. Eastern show on Tuesdays, this show will be the topic show that you guys have all come to know and love over the last year and a half.
There he is.
There you are. We're just talking about business. I was just saying that the Tuesday show from now on will be the topic show, and the Monday show will be the more Ask Tyler show. And both shows, we're going to try to keep them under 90 minutes. I will say yesterday I had Josh Smokey Held Nelson on the show. He did make it very hard to keep the show under 90 minutes. He did a great job. Very, very good job. He had a lot of things to say. I suggest you go back and watch it. Evan Brown as well was there. I felt bad. Evan did not get as much speaking time. I didn't get much speaking time. Conan barely talked. It was a good show, though. It's a lot of energy. So if you like that kind of energy, if you like me, but like quadruple, go back and watch yesterday's show. I think you'll really like it. It was very, it was kind of weird, crazy energy that doesn't usually come across on these shows. But yeah, so in the future, starting next week, Monday, Ask Tyler. Tuesday will be the topic show. Next week on Tuesday, mock draft. Startup mock draft with picks. And it's perfect because I just heard we'll have Dynasty Outhouse on the show. I just heard him say that he likes Dynasty startups where the picks are included. So he will get to be a part of that when he's here 1 week from today, a Dynasty startup mock. And I think that'll be very exciting. We haven't done a startup mock in quite a while, so I'm kind of excited to get back to that. Okay, so we have a few questions here. I do expect people are mostly out for Valentine's Day, so I'm expecting this to be a little bit of a quieter show.
Yeah,
that's okay.
You could talk to two sad Eagles fans to,
Yes, I will very much enjoy that.
I already got Valentine's Day taken care of last night, so it's all right. That's why I'm here.
Aw, that's
there
sweet.
You go. Hutch, you made me feel so old last night.
Oh, tell the people. Why not?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I just so I posted on Twitter recently. I just got my driver's license 2 days ago, and I got it early too. Like, I mean, I'm 16. Like, because in Pennsylvania, you have to get you have to get a learner's permit when you turn 16. You're allowed to get it, and then you have to wait 6 months, and then you can test for your driver's license. And I tested for a license about a month after I was eligible. So I got it. I got it in pretty early. Got my driver's license a couple days ago. And I took my girlfriend out, and we had a nice Valentine's Day date. It was really nice.
Aww.
It was really great.
Went to Popeyes. Heck yeah.
Yes, we did.
Wait, did you actually?
It was so funny though. I wanted to take her somewhere nicer, and she was like, "No, I want to go to Popeyes." I was like, "All right, let's go." I never had it before, and she's really wanted me to take her.
Wait, sorry. You've never been to Popeyes?
I had never been, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. I had never been before that moment. And so on the list next, she wants to take me to Chipotle. I've never been there. I've never been to Chipotle. No, I've never been to Chipotle. And then Wingstop. I've also never been there. So
I've never been to Wingstop. So yeah, I'm with you there.
This is crazy to me. I mean, as someone who mostly eats like healthy food, like I wouldn't say I've been to Popeyes like often, but I've been.
Yeah, I had never been before that moment. It was like, because my family and I were big Chick-fil-A people, so I had never been to Popeyes, and I thought Popeyes was actually better, so I like it better now.
Happens the first time you try Popeyes. It's like an experience.
Well, it's
That's
always
kind of
about.
I know. It's crazy. My parents shielded me. My parents are awful. They didn't let me go.
Oh, that's gonna be clipped. We're
I
gonna
know.
clip that.
I know.
Yes, we're
I
gonna
know.
clip that for sure.
Oh yes, they are terrible.
Just that
You
part,
clip
no
that.
context. My
Go
parents
ahead.
are awful.
Go
That's
ahead
a
and
great
clip that.
thing. We're gonna have to do that.
Well, hold on,
okay.
I'll fix it.
Fix it. Yeah, because on the I
Uh-oh.
keep it's a long story. When we have an overlay, we don't I know how to fix it. But you got it.
I got it.
When we have an overlay, we don't want us to move. But when we don't have an overlay, we do want to move. So then we can see our faces. All right. Let's get into the first question. Get Dotson. So get is first. Dotson 24 first, 24 second. Send Geno Smith, Jamal Williams, Elijah Moore, Zay Jones, and Deonta Foreman.
Ooh.
I mean, that's an easy accept. You're getting the two most valuable assets in the trade.
It's kind of tough. Yeah, I mean, all those players that you're sending away are interesting and all have interesting values. But yeah, I agree. Dotson and 24 first are easily the best two players of this trade, so it's hard to say no to that. Like, I mean, that's a Dotson smashed for me. I would take Dotson.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you could find his next comment was him concerned about losing a quarterback.
That's true. Losing a quarterback in a Superflex league is not getting one back is tough.
You'll find other places. Geno's not no replaceable asset, like even Fields, I'd say, because Fields is hard to replace. But you'll have many opportunities throughout the offseason to buy someone like Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, even maybe like one of those guys to supplant Geno for an even lesser cost than what you're getting here. So I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm with it. Let's see. Thanks for the show. You're welcome. You're welcome. I love doing these. What's up, Texans Nation?
Texans. Ooh,
what about the Texans? Did something happen with the Texans?
No, not yet. But
no,
this offseason they're gonna do some things.
A lot.
Yeah, there's been some news today actually, which we can go over. News between my show yesterday and today.
Wow.
Hello. I love it. Thank you. Congrats on the license.
Thank you.
You got anything to say to Toronto Dave?
No, just thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Did you pass both things the first time?
Both, yeah. I passed. Well, the thing is, the permit. It's not like you don't drive on that test.
Oh yeah, it's a written one.
It's the permit is all on paper, and you're just like answering like basic
on paper
driver knowledge questions. It's very easy. The license test, you're actually driving around doing stuff. But yeah, I passed both on the first try.
Oh, dude,
you
took the permit test on paper, dude?
Well, no, it was on a computer.
Yeah.
Oh, it was on the computer.
Oh no, I'm old enough that I took it on paper.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
I took it on a computer. Yeah, they took it on a computer, but I meant like not driving. That's more.
Oh no,
yeah, it's not driving.
Yeah,
dude, I failed my first one. I'm not gonna lie.
Your permit test?
Yeah, my friends also think I should have gone the road to this.
The funniest part about mine though, so you have to get at least 16 out of 18 right to pass. So, and I got the first two questions wrong. So if I got any more wrong, I would have failed. So the last 16 questions I had to get right, and I got them all. So I was just panicking the entirety of the test though, because I had no strikes left. It was stressful.
I don't even remember my driving part.
I should remember it.
I don't remember.
I probably should have failed that too.
Well, I always say the fact that I have a driver's license is genuinely terrifying. I don't think I should have a driver's license, but apparently
the same about me.
The state of New York thinks that I should. So who am I to disagree? Who am I? Giga Stacy moment. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I saw that comment. I was like, I don't even know what it means. I just glazed over. I'm gonna look
up Flowsaurus, can you tell me what this means?
Yeah,
I don't know what this means.
I'm looking it up.
You're being called out.
Okay, I look up Giga Stacy, and then it's a woman. It says Giga Stacy is a woman who's a 10 out of 10. What? No, I don't think that's it.
I don't know. How could he's asking? How have you never been to Popeyes?
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
I
told it's my parents, man. My parents did it.
How far is it from
your house? In New York City, there are many.
Yeah, I don't know. It just never happened. I'll say this though, we don't eat out much. Our family, we don't eat out very often. Like
How
we
do
don't
you
go
eat
out
then?
places. We cook at home.
Oh, that sounds like a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Food at home, Tyler. Remember,
Yeah, you can make food at home, Tyler. You have a kitchen for
there's
a
always
reason.
food at home.
I do?
Yeah, you have a kitchen.
Oh,
I
don't know
that's why
anything about
kitchens
that.
are homes. You don't have a kitchen, so you can put
Yeah,
fast food
no.
bags
My cooking skills are they could be better. Let's just say that there's room for improvement. There's room for improvement. There are many things, but
I
there's
like
room for
baking a
improvement.
lot more personally. I love to bake. But
Well, I mean, one time I baked, but then the cookies came out. There was a weird problem. I mean, they kind of were very flat, and it seems like I had added some extra ingredients and left out a couple of other ingredients. It was a little bit of a problem.
Crazy fun
Wasn't so
fact
good.
on me, actually. When I was younger, I was crazy into baking, and I was it was my thing. It was like how fantasy football is my thing now. I was all in on this. I was
Did you ever do a competition?
That's what I was about to get to.
Oh,
I
good.
didn't make it. I did not make it onto this competition, but Food Network's Kids Baking Championship, they needed last-minute applications, and I actually I actually signed up. I made the final interview, and I didn't make it. I didn't make it, but I was 12 years old. I made the final interview for Food Network's Kids Baking Championship. That was 4 years ago.
Oh, the people are impressed. I think
I had one interview, and yeah, it was. I messed up because it was weird. The first few interviews, it was the same lady, and she was really to the point, strict, to the point. But this other lady was the last interview. She was crazy energetic and all over the place, and I just I didn't see her coming. She was just she threw me off like crazy. But yeah, I messed up the final interview, and I didn't make it. But I did.
You were almost a celebrity.
I was almost a celebrity, but now I'm a celebrity here. Kind of. No, not really at all. I'm not a celebrity here.
No, we're all just doing this show, and not celebrities. I don't think of myself as a celebrity at all.
I'll think of Hutch as a celebrity in the baking world. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was more of a celebrity in the chess world than I am now. So
chess.
Yeah, I was a 4-time national champion. Where have you been?
What? You never told me that. Tyler, you've not told me that. That's insane.
I mean, about it.
I don't talk about it.
Podcast.
Oh, I definitely have.
What?
Yeah, many times. I mean, I've definitely talked about it.
That is insane.
I've posted it in the group chat before, but maybe not. To be honest with you, it doesn't come up much because everyone already knows. I'm surprised. I stopped talking about it because it's that's the fun fact about me, and then we don't.
You only got fun facts. I woke up today. Yeah.
Yay! Well, I mean, Kyle Shanahan says
from this show.
We don't know if you're going to be alive on Sunday, so we don't know. We will have to see.
Shanahan always says.
Kyle Shanahan, yeah, for the win. All right, from Drew. Let's see this question here, and I like this one. 12-team Superflex offered 111, 204, Corral and Komet for 107, and Mac Jones. How interesting. Well, I think this is a pretty easy one. Wait. This is ridiculous. This is 107 Mac Jones easily. I don't understand.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
I'm confused. I'm a little confused by this one.
Mac Jones is probably the most valuable piece. 107
Mac Jones and the 111 are similar to me.
They're close.
Mac Jones and the 111 are similar, and then the 107 is worth way more than the rest. Yeah, this is not. This is not a close offer.
Yeah, I'm a Mac Jones. I do not believe in Mac Jones at all, but I'd still take that side.
Yeah, I would take. I mean, the 107 is comparable to the whole other side. I mean, that's going to be there's going to be a tier break between the 107 and the 111 for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. After the top 6, after the top 6-7 picks, there's going to be a big tier drop.
Yeah, I mean,
similar to last year.
11 is a little far down for me to go. So it's easily the 107. Well, who do I rank higher between Devontae and Diggs? And would you auto send the 109 for them, knowing you can probably flip them for a first at any time next year? Let's address actually I guess this is really 3 questions.
3.
Devontae or Diggs? Yeah. Would you send the 109? Can you auto flip them for a first at any time next year? I'm going to address the last part first. That is not true. That is not true. There's one injury, a couple bad games, and you won't be able to flip them for a first. So that last part is just false. Yep. That last part is false. It's just not true. So now that we've taken care of the last part, let's go back to the first part. Devontae or Diggs? Which one? Let's say that's it. That's your choice. Which one would you rather? Who would you rather have?
Man, that's really. I think I'd rather take Diggs, but just barely, because the Raiders' quarterback position right now is very, very questionable, and Adams is also a year older. I would take Diggs, but it's close.
For me, if they were the same age with the same quarterback, I would prefer Devontae Adams slightly by a hair. I think Devontae Adams is better, but they're not. And I would still, even if the best case scenario is that Devontae Adams gets Aaron Rodgers back, that's the best case scenario.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Even in that scenario, I'd still rather have Josh Allen than a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Still rather have Josh Allen. So even then, I'd still rather have, even the best case scenario, I'd rather have Diggs. So I'd rather have Diggs. Right now, it's not close. We'll have to see what happens.
So would you auto send the 109 for either of them?
So then that's the last part. We covered part 1, we covered part 3. Would I auto send the 109? For me,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, for me, in a 1 QB, you are not going to recoup the value at the 109 that those receivers can give you. They're worth more than that. In a super flex, though, I think I'd rather have a quarterback drafted in the first round over these guys, even if it's Anthony Richardson. I think I'd still rather, if Anthony Richardson is drafted at 8, what's the upside with Devontae Adams or Stephon Diggs in a dynasty? There really isn't any. Like, there's no upside. They're never going to be a first-round startup pick again. You're probably never going to be a top 2 or 3-round startup pick in Superflex again. It's not going to happen. They're too old. So the quarterback comes in with a lot of value. I think I would have to not do that for me. I think I would pass on that. It's just not how I build my team. It's about right. I mean, the 109 is in the value range of these guys. I definitely wouldn't do it for Adams. For Diggs, maybe, but it's not really how I build my team. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with what Tyler said. I mean, I think I would. Yeah, it's tough because at 109, you can't 100% depend on a quarterback being drafted in the first that's going to make it. Like, you can't 100% depend on a quarterback making it there. But
I see 9 players that I'm pretty confident are going to carry a lot of value in Superflex.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's likely, but it's not 100% guaranteed. Obviously, like, if your draft is like QB heavy, a lot of players need quarterbacks. Or
I don't need a quarterback. I mean, if Quentin Johnston falls to 9, and he, even despite the fact that he goes in the top 10 of the NFL draft, I think I would rather take my chances on someone young.
Diggs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even though I'm not a big fan of Quentin Johnston, I think I'd take my chances.
I think I agree with you value wise on these. I think I agree with you value wise. Like, if it's super flex, I'd be less eager to do this, but 1 QB, I would want the 109. I mean, I would want Diggs and Adams. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyone got any advice for broken hearts this day?
I don't know. I've never had this happen. I'm still on the first girlfriend.
Lucky you.
I'm still on the first girlfriend. So
go out there, go to the store,
buy yourself all
some ice cream, maybe a little Ben and Jerry's pint, sit on the couch, open up Netflix. There's got to be some new show on there. That one with what's his face, Penn Badgley, the one where he's a stalker. Yeah, that got its new season.
You know, I've actually wanted to see. I've actually never watched that. I actually seems like something I would really like. I love Penn Badgley from Gossip Girl, which is about New York, which is of course my favorite. So if he's the star of that, then I would. I've always wanted to check it out, and I have not yet done so.
Yeah, pop that on, eat your ice cream. Treat yourself tonight. Come on now.
If you want my actual advice for broken hearts, go out to a bar. Find someone. Like, I promise you, there's more than one right person for you. You know, there's a lot of people out there that you could be happy with no matter what you're looking for. So my advice would be, if you don't put yourself out there, you'll never find anyone. So if you put yourself out there, you might have to go through some trials or tribulations or whatever, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth it because it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Put it that way. I think that's the best way I can say
but
that.
going to a bar on Valentine's Day seems like an actually like a sound thing to do, honestly.
Yes, because that's where people who are in relationships are going to go out to dinner. They're going to go to other things. People who are not in relationships might, if you're in a relationship, are you going to go to a bar together on Valentine's Day? That seems like an odd. It's not what I would do.
I mean, I would do. Popeyes, so.
But yeah, but that actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. That kind of sounds like nice. But going to like a bar, like you want Valentine's Day is about you and your date. So going to a bar seems kind of antithetical to that. It's not really what I would choose. So I think it's a good
Valentine's Day.
Exactly. It's a good place to find other singles on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we turning this into a dating advice show?
I am down to do that. And if anyone wants any advice, I'll direct all your questions to Josh Fuster at Josh Fuster. He can give you lots of advice. If he were here, he could tell me not to say that, but he's not here. So yes, at Josh Fuster on Twitter. Send him your dating questions. He really likes talking about it. So his DMs are open for your dating advice. That's what I would say is my other advice. It was a compliment. I think this is about the Giga Stacy, which I still
I get it
understand.
Now. He explained it and I understand now.
Oh, I have another story where it's like this too. Is okay.
There's another one.
There's another story where she picks like a so I made a bet not recently in the off season. I made a bet with her cousin. She was on FaceTime. She was showing me she was at a family reunion thing and she was showing me a bunch of members of her family. I was meeting them. Her cousin's a big Cowboys fan. And he made a bet with me in the offseason. I said the Eagles are going to win the division and they're going to go at least 12-5 this year. And he said, all right, I'll take you on that bet. If you win, I'll give you $50. Boom, like that. And he's like 20 something. Like this is an older cousin. And he said, if you lose this bet, you have to take Alex to the nicest restaurant in your town. I'm like, all right, deal. And I was going to use the $50, take her out anyway. Like I was taking her out either way. So that was the plan from the get-go. But I win the bet. I get the $50. He Apple pays me. And I'm looking at all these like really nice restaurants in our town, probably places that would cost at least $150, $200 for the two of us to go, like easily, like really nice places. And I'm showing her all these nice places, and I'm like, Alex, which one you want to go to? And she's like, Hutch, can we go to Chili's? And I'm like, well, no, I want to go but I was like, Alex, no, I don't think you understand. Like, we're gonna go to a fancy place. Like, is this part of the bet? And she's like, no, but I want to go to Chili's because it's my favorite. And I was like, boom, we spent $60 and had like the best time ever. It was the best. It was great.
You got a heck of a lot of food at $60.
It's so funny. Like she doesn't like fancy places, and it's amazing.
Neither do I. I mean, I don't. I don't really.
I don't know how much I care, but
yeah.
The fanciest place I go to is Panera Bread. So
that's kind of how I feel. It's like it's not like I dislike it, but I don't. It doesn't do anything for me. Like going to like a fancy restaurant, like I don't.
I don't know. I haven't been to many fancy restaurants.
I'm from New York, so I've been to a few, but like I always feel like it's overpriced and like I would have gotten the same experience for a fourth of the money elsewhere. So I don't
paying a lot of money for food.
They're always overpriced.
For food that you're like not excited about is the worst.
Yeah.
It is like the worst experience ever.
Also, it's New York. There are so many places you can get really great food that are not really fancy and not overpriced. You don't have to go to somewhere fancy. There's literally a zillion places you can go.
Yes.
So real quick, I was visiting New York. This was years ago. Like when I was like.
I was 14, gonna say 15. Like
I lived there
for a while.
So we go to this fancy restaurant. I order like some kind of pasta. I kid you not. I'm dead ass. I think they brought me out SpaghettiOs like from a can.
No, they didn't.
I swear to God, It looked like they looked like them. They tasted like them. I was like, Can we just pay that much money for SpaghettiOs? Like,
I'll put them on blast. Tell me what restaurant it was. I'll put them on blast.
I don't know. I have to ask my family members. I'll text you.
Oh man,
I'll text you and let you know.
I'll put them on blast. I'll put. That can be the next company now. I put on blast. I put Spectrum on blast. Spectrum Internet. Incompetent Spectrum. I put them on blast once.
I had the same problem with my internet over the weekend, and my internet's hooked up to my TV. So my friends were texting me what was going on in the Super Bowl, thinking I already saw it, and they were spoiling it on me.
I heard that there was a Comcast outage in Philly. on Sunday.
What?
Did you guys not hear about this?
No.
Yeah, there was a Comcast outage in Philly at like 5:30 p.m.
Oh my goodness.
and everyone was
my
like freaking the
goodness.
fuck out. I think they got it fixed in time, but like this was like a major panic.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it on the TV or I didn't see anything about it, so they must have gotten it fixed.
Yeah, but
That
apparently,
is insane. Imagine.
I know.
Also,
Comcast.
I was about to mention I've never even had SpaghettiOs either.
Neither have I. I've never had those. That just sounds disgusting to me. I don't think
They
that's
are
something I
pretty
would.
bad. They were great growing up.
That sounds like something for 3-year-olds, but I think I'm good at my age of having those ever
You're
again.
definitely good at your age. Stick to the Kraft mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Tyler is elite as they come at chess. It is true.
Yeah.
I am beyond elite. Yeah, no, I've beaten a couple of actual grandmasters. Like I've beaten a couple of them. So yes, wow. I would say that I am elite.
I can't get past 100 rating on chess, the app.
I've played the chess like twice in my life.
Yeah, chess I feel like is kind of gone out of style. Like I'm just old enough that it was like something that was still kind of in school, like you would do it. Like I didn't have like an iPad or a smartphone or whatever, even a computer. Like when I was in kindergarten, we didn't have a computer. Like there was one computer for the whole kindergarten. So we would do things like play with blocks and play chess and other things. Whereas I feel like kids nowadays don't really do those things. So it's kind of going out of style.
I think it's still in style, but it's more so like on the phone. No one plays on the boards anymore. Like if you get together,
no, I know, but on a phone, there's so much competition. Just like there's so much competition for us on YouTube to get people to watch this show. There's so many things you could do with a phone. Like, yeah, you could play chess, but you could play. I don't know what games kids are playing these days.
I don't have any. Actually, wait, I have Retro Ball on my phone. I still play that.
Retro Ball. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about games. Pokemon Go, I know was.
Otherwise, I don't play games on my phone. I don't like. I literally just don't have time.
In the App Store.
I very rarely play video games anymore.
For strategy games.
Yeah, but I don't think strategy games is the most popular category. You know.
True.
Yeah.
What would make you more famous, being on a kids baking show or making fantasy content on YouTube or Twitter? Kids baking shows, to be honest, are not super popular.
No, a lot like baking shows are like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't.
It's popular in the UK.
The Great British Bake Off. Oh, the Great British Baking Show. Like, I love that.
Kids baking shows are not particularly popular in the US. I've never
really
heard
not
of it.
Always.
Adult ones are the Great British Bake Off baking show. That show is very popular.
That show is so good. I love.
Oh, it's great. That one is very popular.
That show. Yeah.
But for some reason, as Americans, I feel like we prefer cooking shows, and I think that's because you can see the dish being made, whereas the cake is just in the oven. You have to wait. It's not as much drama. You can actually see the food being cooked a little bit more. So I think there are still more baking shows a little bit, but they're more based on the drama. Like Nailed It is like more funny.
I hate
the baker. It's not about the bakers being good. It's about the bakers being bad. And I think people are more interested in that. Nailed It is great, obviously. Have you guys ever watched that one?
I hate Nailed It.
Oh, you hate it?
I can't stand the hosts. You
don't like Nicole Byer?
No, I don't like.
Oh, really? I like her. Okay.
I don't like her. No, she's annoying to me. But the concept of the show is fine. I don't mean I get it. I
can understand it. It is definitely the kind of show where if you don't like her, you won't like it.
Yeah, if you don't like her,
kind
you
of
can't
like
the show.
This show. If you don't like me, you probably won't like this show. To be honest, I have learned that I have to just accept that. But that's also okay. Like this channel is Tyler FF Creator, so if you don't like me, I don't think many people find this show.
You know what I miss? I miss Man vs. Food with Adam Richman.
Funnily enough, I've never watched that one. I've watched Man vs. Wild.
That's a good one. That was a long time ago.
Never watched Man vs. Food. I don't know much about that.
He just goes around doing ridiculous challenges. It's actually kind of fun.
This is making me want to do shows not about football. It's making me want to do shows not about football because how about a dating advice show?
You're dating.
We didn't answer this. Would you trade Sam Howell for the 202? Absolutely.
Yes.
I'll take the 202 for sure.
Yeah, 100 million.
There's rumors.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
Well, Sam Howell might be the quarterback. I mean, it's possible he might be, but I'd rather have 202. I know that's good. Sam
I think
Howell,
it's
I've seen one game.
I think it's more than 50% chance that Sam Howell's a starter next year for the team.
Even if he is, Davis Mills wasn't worth the 202 ever.
No, he was not. No, no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Sam Howell's worth this at all. Sam Howell's definitely not worth the 202.
I think this is a good sell moment.
But,
you don't have to see it. You don't have to go through the rest of the offseason.
Absolutely.
You can get the 202.
Yeah, because Sam Howell's going to start, the team's going to suck, and they're going to be in a position where they can draft a quarterback in 2024. Then boom, Sam Howell's done. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go.
I agree with that. Where would Chark have to land to pique your interest into believing he could be a top 24 to 32 scoring guy in PPR next year? I'll save you some time and say that he can't.
Yeah, no.
No, nowhere.
I agree. Nowhere.
There's nowhere. I think Chark is someone who, at this stage, is a veteran. He's going to go somewhere, but will probably would require an injury to be super relevant. You know, he could sign. Well, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of places. Dallas is one that I've heard to kind of bolster the receivers, but you know, with all of them, he's probably not going to do anything. He'd need an injury. But he's still worth something in Dynasty. I mean, he showed this year that he's not washed. He's not bad.
Yeah, he had a few good games for fantasy. Like he's able, like he can make some big plays.
He's not washed.
Explosive. He's a good player. It's just
he's already going to be 27 in September. Yeah. He's kind of had his time. I have him at wide receiver 56 in Dynasty. He's fine, but I'm not like running out for him or anything.
Yep.
All right, I think this is a very good question from Patrick, actually.
Oh,
I like this one.
That's interesting.
At what pick of this year's first round would you send the pick for random 24 first? So last year, people were saying it was like a 102. I will say this class has been disappointing. It's not what I wanted. It's not what we thought we were getting. It's not as good as people were saying. It's not bad, but it's not what people were saying. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
Ryan seems to have disappeared. For me,
I think that 1-8, 110 is a good example. I think those are solid pick ranges of where I throw out for the 24 first.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry to blow my nose.
And that's
you're good.
I don't want to send. I don't want to send a top 6 pick. I don't want to send a top 6 pick. I don't want to send that first tier. I'm assuming it's a super flex.
Yeah,
I don't want to send that.
Either way, though, because then in the 24 class has a lot of quarterbacks, so the 24 class would be weaker in a 1 QB also. Actually, that's why the 24 class is so appealing. It's because Caleb Williams and other quarterbacks are in there. The 24 class is strong in quarterback, stronger than this year. So I'm not sure. But yeah, generally in an average year, my typical answer is that I would almost always keep through the 107. The 108 and 109 is kind of up in the air. And the 110, 111, and 112 I'd usually send. And I think that advice is about right this year. It's about right.
I couldn't agree.
Feels like more of a typical class. The class is deep, but that doesn't change this year. I think the big difference this year is actually the depth of the class. I think the 205 this year. I don't think the 108 this year is much better than the 108 last year or any other year. I think the 205 this year is going to be unusually strong. The 210 this year is going to be unusually strong. Daniel Jeremiah said he went through the entire running back class. He said there were 15, 20 players he saw that could be starters. I completely agree with him. Completely agree. I go through this running back class. I go to running back. Honestly, after Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't see someone I want to put at RB3. They're all up in the air. I've already had 4 different RB3s. And we're at February 14th. 4 different RB3s.
Yeah.
But when I go to RB15, I still want RB15. I get to RB even 20. I'm not like, oh, I hate this player. I'm like, oh, okay. So the depth of this class is very strong. If you accumulated second-round picks, you're going to get better players this year than you do in most years. Even third-round picks are going to be a little bit better this year. But that doesn't really have anything to do with this question. The top end, beyond Bijan Robinson, is not really special, unfortunately. So with that being said, and unfortunately for me, I've noticed I was hoping this class would like have a great 107, 108, 109, 110 compared to other years. That didn't happen. What happened is the top tier is smaller than we wanted. it's just as large as any other year. The difference is in the second round. So, yeah, I'd say I'd go for the 108 or so.
I think it's fair.
I mean, would I really rather have Will Levis over a 24 first? I don't think so.
Oh, don't do this.
Would I rather have Quentin Johnston? Probably. Picked in the first round that early? Probably. Yeah. He gets the draft capital I want.
Yeah.
Over having to wait a whole year?
Not Levis.
Yeah, not Levis. So, yeah, 108 there.
No.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right. 12 teams in flex from Sean. Kyler and 107. Or the 102, Goff and the 203. Oh, very interesting.
Ooh. We were just talking about earlier with the second round, these picks are a little more valuable than maybe in past years.
Yeah, the 107 is
there, but
the 107 is kind of a tier. To me, the tier kind of ends at 6. And then
yeah,
there's
it's gonna be
mini
the
tier.
tier's gonna be at 6 or 7. It's like
yeah, but then there's a little mini tier of 7, 8, 9, 10, and maybe 11 or so.
Yeah,
it could be a little grouping. I don't know how big that group's going to be. Quentin Johnston, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson will be in that group for sure. I don't know if there's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 other people in there, but those 3 will be in there for sure. And then there'll be some other people. But
Kyler's been so frustrating because there have been all the rumors now and all the reports saying that coaches don't want to go to Arizona because of Kyler and his and how frustrating he is. I don't get it. I mean, they just hired Gannon.
So that's one of the news things that happened. Right? So they hired Jonathan Gannon signed a 5-year contract to be the Cardinals head coach.
Yes.
See ya.
I think that's going to be another failure.
Why would he be a failure?
He's failed in Philly with one of the best defenses in the league. Why is he not going to fail?
Failed? I mean, didn't he have the best defense over the year? Why would you call that a failure? That doesn't sound like failure. It sounds pretty good to me. I mean, he did a very good job.
His points per game against elite quarterbacks.
But what about the other games? Elite, yes, the points per game against elite quarterbacks was bad, but why is that surprising? Of course, elite quarterbacks perform.
That means you can never get over the hump.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of harsh. I think he did a pretty good job. I don't know.
I thought he could.
I think he's gonna be. I don't know the defense. Like watching the games this year, like the Eagles would get up early, they'd be great, and then the defense would collapse in the second half.
Look, it's not who I would have hired. It's not who I would have hired. But I think
Eagles had a whole
I don't think I would have hired Jonathan Gannon first. I think
Peterson Jaguars
in the NFL. I don't know if this is going to be very great though.
They ran that whatchamacallit, the jet sweep pass kind of thing the Jaguars did when they played earlier in the season. That's how Kansas City scored twice. They didn't do any. They didn't practice that at all or anything about that.
He is an experienced enough coach that he has experience that could warrant a head coaching position. I'm not sure he would have been my first choice, but he's not unqualified to be a head coach. I mean, he was the defensive coordinator for 2 years. I mean, I think by most standards, people would say that he did this year a pretty good job. And he has, yes, the Eagles did not win the Super Bowl, but he's on a team that went to the Super Bowl. So he has some experience with success. And, I don't know. I don't think this is a disaster. It's better than Cliff Kingsbury, who had no experience.
Oh, yeah, it'd be better than Cliff Kingsbury. But I feel like signing him to the 5-year contract is going to be a mistake.
Probably. But they ripped up Cliff Kingsbury's 6-year contract after 1 year. So they clearly have money to light on fire.
So back to this trade, though, we're looking at Kyler and 107 right at the end of that tier, or start of the new tier, and then 102, which is in a super flex, probably Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
It'll probably be Bryce Young, but could be CJ Stroud if they go in the other order in the NFL draft. But I'm expecting Bryce Young to go first.
So who would you take? I think I want Kyler, but it's close.
It's close. They're very close. I think a lot of it depends on who takes Bryce Young and if he really goes number 1 overall. If Bryce Young, let's say, I mean, what's the best case scenario? What's the best case scenario? I mean,
the Panthers or the Raiders?
Probably the Colts. The Colts have a coach that I really like.
Yeah.
They have the other coach from the Eagles.
I
assume you guys like that hire a little bit better.
I don't, because I wanted to keep him.
Well, okay, but I think we can all agree that Shane Steichen is a very, very qualified for this position. And I think he's going to do a great job. I think he's going to do a great job. So I think that's going to be a good thing that they hired him. And I would like the Colts. The problem is Jim Irsay. That is always a problem. So
that's a problem you can't get rid of, though.
I don't know. In this case, I think it really comes down to, would you rather take your chances with the 107 or would you rather have Goff in the 203? I'd probably rather have Goff in the 203, but it's close.
I want to take my chances with the 107. I want Kyler.
Yeah, I want Kyler as well. I just feel like that 107 is going to be valuable. There's going to be a ton of offensive players go on day one. And I'm going to want one of them. So
I think if I can just not have Kyler, I think I'm going to, and it's fair, I'm going to lean toward getting rid of Kyler because Kyler's value is going to drop.
It is tough because Kyler is.
It is fair, and we know Kyler's value is going to decline. When he does not, what did we say about J.K. Dobbins? We said, well, he's not going to be ready. I mean, he said he was going to be ready. He told a big lie. He told a big lie to the people.
Yeah.
It was totally a lie.
Kyler's not going to be ready for this year.
Well, but he says he's going to be ready. He says he's totally going to be ready, but he's not going to be ready. So
he's not ready.
He's lying to us. And that's fine. He can lie, just like he lies about his what is it? Call of Duty, Warzone. What is? I don't know. This is nonsense.
It's Call of Duty, Double X.
Is that what people do? I don't play any of these games.
But
well, he does. He lies about how much time he spends doing that. But who cares?
Do you remember?
If I can get out of Kyler Murray for a fair price.
Do you remember that clause in his contract?
The study clause.
Yeah, because he was probably playing too much Call of Duty. It's funny to look back on.
So
I'll have to take the other side, I guess. Then,
I mean, if you want to cash out on Kyler, like
you could do.
This is probably gonna be the best you're gonna.
You're probably not getting much more here, and there is a chance that Kyler's value does decrease this offseason and through the season because obviously if he misses time and if it doesn't look good and Cardinals gonna be bad, then that's gonna be a whole different scenario.
I don't like this hire for Kyler's fantasy value. I mean, this hire may institute some discipline onto the team. That would be nice. But
I mean, Hopkins is probably gone too. You got to consider that. So that's probably going to ding his value at least a little bit.
Hopkins gone. Ertz, I don't think Ertz is going to be anything coming back off an injury or if he's going to retire or if he's gone. James Conner is a potential guy. I think James Conner is a guy that could be cut this offseason or traded this offseason. I think that the Cardinals may look. I think the Cardinals may look to move a lot of veterans this offseason, use this as a bit of a retool / rebuild year with Kyler being gone. And I think DeAndre Hopkins could be one of those players. I think James Conner could be one of those players.
Yeah, I think they're going to build around looking to 2024. I think they have to accept that without Kyler, they're not going to be competitive next year. And they're just in a position where they're stuck under Kyler. So they don't have any way to really put out a competitive team next year.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the Cardinals be the worst team in the NFL, and I want to see if they Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray with Caleb Williams.
I think they would. I think they would. I think for Caleb Williams, I think anyone would. It's not like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Those are good quarterbacks. They're good, but you can find every year there's a Bryce Young. Not every year, but most years there's a quarterback of Bryce Young caliber. He's fine. I don't want to say fine. For a number one overall pick, he'd be acceptable. There are quarterbacks of his caliber every year. So, Caleb Williams, no. That comes around every few years. There's someone who's more that elite level, like Trevor Lawrence kind of prospect. That's more rare. So you have to jump on that possibility, I think. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be the worst team in the league. It's hard. Even the Texans have yet to actually be worst, despite so much turmoil.
Well, Lovie Smith did that on purpose. We know that.
It's probably going to be the Texans or the Cardinals the worst as the number one overall pick next year.
I got to tell you, I think the Texans are going to be a lot better. I think the Texans are going to be a lot better because they have so much salary cap space. They have so much cap space. So much cap space.
And so the Bears
contracts and a lot of draft capital.
And so the Bears. The Bears have so much cap space.
Those teams are going to be better. I think the teams that are really in a problem are Arizona.
Yep.
Denver, if Russell Wilson can't turn it around there, and a lot of problems.
Do you think the Commanders?
Vegas, if they don't get Rodgers. Vegas with any other quarterback is in trouble.
And anyone in the NFC South.
Yeah, the entire NFC South.
The NFC,
and I do think Tennessee is kind of on the precipice of
that's a good one. Tennessee
they're kind of in a flux for me.
Especially if they get rid of Ryan Tannehill.
I don't think they can.
I don't know if they have a choice yet.
At $18.8 million in dead cap, I think is going to caused them. I think for them,
I've
they're
heard
not gonna extend
small
Tannehill.
rumors that teams have shown interest in him.
The Jets.
Mm,
I don't think that. Yeah, I've heard.
I
Jets
think there's no
considered it.
interest in Ryan Tannehill at his current salary, which since he's not going to take a pay cut, there's going to be no interest in Ryan Tannehill.
Obviously,
It's not in his interest to take a pay cut. He would love to get cut, collect the 18.8, and then also double dip with another free agent contract. So there's
Derek
no.
Carr?
Well, exactly. Ryan Tannehill has a lot of leverage because they're stuck with that 18.8 that they have to pay him no matter what.
It's insane how
And then if he gets
quarterbacks.
cut, he can double dip.
It's insane how quarterbacks like Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill get these massive dead cap hits. But you look at Patrick Mahomes' contract and like, it's not on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about cutting Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying how insane that contract is.
No, I agree with you. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. No, I'm trying to take these shows a little easier, like less rants, more actually answering questions. Slightly middle, trying to get the amount of Tyler talking time right. I can tell when it's too much and I can tell when it's too little. So yeah, I do know this is Tyler FF Creator YouTube channel. So I do know you guys want to actually hear me answer the questions, but I also know that I have co-hosts and guests for a reason. So it's all about finding balance and trying to make the best show to have the most information for you guys.
Okay, it's the 2025. They could get out of the Mahomes contract if they wanted to. They won't.
They're not getting out.
No, why would you?
They don't want to, but there's no guarantees on it.
Also, that's not true. It has vesting guarantees over time, so it's not guaranteed right now. But if you look at it, it'll say 2026 salary guarantees on for third day of league year of 2025. So, and then it's 2027 is that way too. So it's a rolling guarantee.
It's all on March 20th March 20th.
Yeah. So that rolling guarantee protects him, I think, through like really 2027. He's pretty protected.
But who cares? Like
no one's ever cutting Patrick Mahomes. He's the best quarterback we've ever seen.
It still feels like unfair because they could like restructure that and work around the number pretty easily.
It's a great contract for the Chiefs. It really is. It's one of the best contracts actually that's ever been signed.
And the NFLPA said, no, don't do that anymore.
Well, excellent speech, Tyler, regarding Valentine's Day. Thank you.
It was
I don't remember exactly what I said, but I appreciate that you think it was.
You gave some really good advice. Meanwhile, I said go watch some Netflix and eat some ice cream and try to feel better.
Yeah, that was. Got to be honest, that was not the advice I would have given.
That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Whoa.
I mean, everyone should do what makes them happy, Oh man. All right. Let's Getio's PTSD would be worse.
Oh.
Huh. What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means, but
where's the next fantasy question?
We'll get to it.
This man's over talking about Spaghetti-O. He's over being trashed about food places.
I mean, the people ask what the people ask. To be honest, I would prefer to answer the questions of the people. So if the people want, this is what the people want to know, I will answer the questions.
It's a holiday, technically.
No, it's no, but really though, I really don't care. Like if people want to know about, man versus food, we can talk about it.
Heck yeah.
Okay. I addressed this yesterday. I'll say it again. If it was just based on Eric Bieniemy's resume, he'd already be a head coach. So there's some sort of something as to why he's not. Essentially, there are two possibilities, which I detailed yesterday. Either it's nefarious and, it's based on, the NFL essentially not wanting to hire him for silly reasons or whatever. Or he does have some issues in his past. There are some issues. There are some things that he did, and which, again, I won't detail on here. But you can go look it up. And I think someone actually brought that up. There was some legal issues, and it was not good. And, the U.S. soccer team had an issue because their head coach had some, domestic violence things way in the past, 30 years ago. But it became an issue recently because people found out about it recently. So just because it was a long time ago doesn't mean that it wouldn't. I don't think, for me, I'm not concerned with what someone did 20 years ago is too long for me to be like, well, I don't want to hire that person because something they did 20 years ago. 20 years is a long time. That's 75% of my life. Like people, that would be saying that because I did something when I was 8, like we shouldn't,
that's when I was -4.
Yeah, you weren't even alive. So like 20 years ago. So like for me, that's not really a valid reason, but it is out there. It is something you can go read about. It is real. It's not made up. So it's not like a conspiracy theory. It's real. So that would explain potentially why he's not getting a head coaching job. And I do think when people say he doesn't interview well, it could mean that he does not handle questions about that incident well. And that is a fair reason to not hire someone. That's a fair reason because they could bring bad media attention to your organization. That is, I could totally understand why you wouldn't hire someone for that reason. So I would, that is not nefarious or anything. That is a valid reason. So, but yeah, that's, I do think at this point, I think if he was going to be hired for a head coaching job, he would have. So I think we are past the point of him being hired. I think that's not going to happen for whatever reason.
Did you hear about the Commanders rumors with him?
Well, that was offense coordinator though.
Yeah, I know, but
that's so weird. Why would you want to be the Commanders offense coordinator?
Because, some people think he's an Andy Reid's shadow.
Well, you're going to get fired next year if you're the Commanders offensive coordinator. I don't know if I would want to do that.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera is on one of the hottest seats of any coach in the NFL. So I don't think I would want to go be his offensive coordinator.
Most definitely, yeah.
You don't want to do that. Let's see. Man versus food. Yeah, Ed is kind of bringing up some of the things that I discussed. I do think the first part is honestly not true. I mean, people come from how many people have come through Andy Reid's coaching tree at some stage or another stage and then ended up being a head coach? I mean, anyone who gets a cup of coffee with Sean McVay is a head coach. So I don't know. I don't really buy part one of this. There are plenty of people. I mean, how many Bill Belichick disciples have gotten a job? Most of them failed. But how many of them have gotten a chance? I mean, Matt Patricia, really Joe Judge, Brian Flores. I mean, that's just 3 that I thought of. And there's so many more. That's just the first 3 that came to my head.
McDaniels?
Yeah, that's another one. He wasn't even... And he's currently a coach. So that shows you that it wasn't even the first one I thought of, and there was more, and there's got to be more. So, yeah, I don't buy part 1 of this. The rest, the other 2 parts are fair. Although, I think... not calling the plays. I think he's shown enough that he would get a chance. I think it's the last part that is the problem. Fields or Dak plus 203 and 304 in a super flex. Interesting. I think I'm going to have to go with the higher end asset in Fields. I don't know what you guys think about it.
In super flex, it makes it definitely a little bit closer, but I think I would want Fields as well, especially with like the potential that Dak is being. Like, I mean, I've heard it's been very small, but Dak, like, there are rumors that he could be moved this offseason. I feel like it's a really bad
situation, man.
That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane if you were to actually be moved this offseason.
Moved and replaced with what?
I don't know. Yeah, it would be bad. I don't know what would happen. It would be really, really bad. But I just don't think that Dak is that guy, and I think Fields could be that guy. So I'm gonna take Justin Fields.
I'm gonna take Justin Fields, but it's like not so much the Dak side; it's more of the Bears side. The Bears have the most cap room in the league.
They do, and it's not even close, right?
And I know there's
they have way more cap than anybody else.
Texans have a lot too.
Oh, Texans are up.
There's no like premium wide receiver assets. Like the best wide receiver on the market is Jacoby Myers, I think, and that's no fun. But
I mean, Juju is a free agent.
Juju too. But that's it. That's like the end.
Yeah, those are the 2 best.
You can make a trade though.
They
Bears
could
draft capital. They can make a trade.
A lot of draft capital.
It's gonna be a tough sell. It's gonna be a tough sell getting someone to want to go there. I mean, who are you gonna? You're not gonna trade for a high-priced wide receiver who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, no.
So I don't think they're gonna be able to do that. Yeah. Similar to the Ravens, who've been unable to acquire a receiver in free agency or via trade because no one wants to play there because that'll make their numbers go down. And the Bears are not a good team. So it's going to be even harder. Like, I don't know why, like, DeAndre Hopkins is not going there. for example.
Yeah.
It would have to be someone at the end of their rookie deal, like Michael Pittman, someone that the Colts don't intend to re-sign for whatever reason. That would be the kind of receiver they could
Fields. I think Fields' value, I feel like Fields could, I think there is a world, if Fields gets a real wide receiver, right, and he comes in this year, I think there's a world where Justin Fields takes a Jalen Hurts kind of jump next year.
Yeah.
I think that is a realistic chance. And if you have that type of opportunity and you're getting rid of Dak in a second round and third round pick, I feel like it's just way too easy to do that.
The difference between Fields and Dak is more than this. I'll take Fields.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see.
Would it be another first?
Well, I mean, if it were first, I'd have to consider it.
Yeah.
But Pittman peaked at wide receiver 6 in September 22, and I missed the sell window. Yeah. Okay. So they're definitely going to get a quarterback, but at this point, he's asking
Will Levis, number 1 overall.
If we think he missed the sell window,
so funny.
I do think that the sell window on Pittman is past us.
Yeah, you're kind of past at this point.
Pittman might be a buy.
Yeah, everybody is not in on Pittman right now because he had such a bad finish to the season. Now we're looking at the quarterback.
Also, the other reason Pittman is a buy is if Indianapolis is going to move up from 4 to 1, they're going to need to spend their draft capital to get there.
Yes.
So the ability to replace or supplant Pittman is going to be low. They're not going to be able to get a high-end
obvious. And if you trade number 1, you're obviously taking a quarterback, and you have the obvious upgraded quarterback, and then I think that's a prime opportunity to possibly sell him if people get really hyped on Pittman. But yeah, I think Pittman's actually a solid buy low right now rather than a sell.
He's not going to make it back to 6, though.
He's never going to make it back to 6.
No, he's not. He's never going to be there.
No, he's never going to make it back to 6.
But I could see it if they trade up for Bryce Young and take him at number 1. I could see him getting up to that low wide receiver 1 range. But I'd build it back up, and then I'd sell pretty easy. So, yeah. It's a buy now, but sell later.
Yeah. The COD clause. Oh, yeah, for Kyler Murray. All I'm hearing is hate toward the legend and best backup, Colt McCoy. Okay, so the Cardinals are definitely going to sign somebody, and that's actually going to be an interesting player who's going to give you some starts. The Cardinals' first 6-week quarterback is going to be someone interesting in Superflex that I'm going to have to tell people not to buy all offseason. I don't know. Really, the candidates for that are Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton, Teddy Bridgewater, the usual Taylor Heineke, the usual guys.
Mike White. Mike White would be a baller with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
MVP.
I mean, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew, Sam Darnold are slightly higher end options there.
I mean, they could.
Yeah.
I do think some of these guys are going to get a somewhat potential to play, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of the spots that are open right now. It depends on if Atlanta wants to see what they have with Ritter or try to get someone else, bring someone else in. I know they were in on Watson before the draft.
I think Atlanta wants to have competition, but I'm not sure they're going to be picking quarterback in the first round.
No,
I don't think
not.
Atlanta. I think Atlanta wants to either solve the problem or kick the can down the road. And I think that they think that only Bryce Young and CJ Stroud would be solving the problem. So if they can't solve the problem with one of those, they're going to kick the can down the road.
Do you think there's a chance they make a trade? Atlanta, if they make a trade for a big quarterback.
They could sign Derek Carr. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't be in on Derek Carr also.
Laughably bad.
I mean, I don't know why Derek Carr would sign there unless they overpaid for him because they.
I don't know. That'd be bad for Atlanta to sign a veteran quarterback like that. I feel like that'd be laughably bad.
It wouldn't be ideal, but I can understand why. I mean, New Orleans is a very similar team situation to Atlanta, and they're all for Derek Carr. So I can understand why they would do it.
Yeah, It's
not what I would do.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good choice. At all. I
can understand why they would. But Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo are going to sign somewhere. I mean, they're going to get starting jobs, not questionable starting jobs. They're going to get enough money that they're going to be the clear starter.
Yeah, Derek Carr definitely. Jimmy G.
I mean, I think Jimmy G.
Not 100% locked in.
For me, I think Derek Carr is going to sign in the NFC South, probably with the Bucks, but it could be one of the other teams. But the Bucks would be my favorite, and the favorite for him. And then, essentially, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Jets or the Raiders, probably the Raiders. And whichever one does, those teams are desperate. Whichever one does not get Aaron Rodgers will sign Jimmy Garoppolo. He'll go to the other one. For now, I have it as the Jets signing Jimmy.
That sounds very plausible.
Because I think the Jets are ready. The Jets, it's not time to bring in another rookie.
And they don't need a top quarterback. Like they have an elite
if I could choose, I kind of like the setup of Carr to the Bucks, Rodgers to the Raiders, and Jimmy G to the Jets. I kind of like that.
I think you can make that work. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that kind of leaves Atlanta and Carolina with 8 and 9, and they need quarterbacks. So I don't know. We'll have to see if they find someone. Atlanta could just kind of sign. I mean, I could see Atlanta signing like Gardner Minshew and say, "Oh well, this is what we have. It's a competition, a legitimate competition, not a fake one, a legitimate competition." You know, with Ritter being the incumbent. I think Washington will do the same, by the way. I think Washington will sign one of these guys, either Minshew or Baker or someone. And it'll be a competition with Howell, which I expect Howell to win.
It could. Yeah, Howell. I think it's a good chance. Howell, I said it earlier, but I think it's a good chance Howell's to start in 2023. They're going to give him a shot, and if he doesn't work, then they're cutting ties and they're moving.
But they're going to have someone they can replace him with. They're not going to do what the Texans did this year and go in with Davis Mills and nobody. They're going to have someone they can yank Sam Howell for if they need to. It's going to be someone like, it could be Taylor Heineke again, who we know has been okay.
Yeah.
It could be Baker, it could be Gardner Minshew, Sam Darnold. Those are options.
Yeah, it's going to be Terry McLaurin, great wide receiver, but horrible quarterback play, different quarterbacks for all year. I'd like, man, he could have had such a fantastic career.
Like, he just didn't, And
it just didn't happen. It's just so sad.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. One quarterback PPR start 8. I gave up 323 first, Joshua fumble, and a 23 third for Drake London. 324 first. 112, 302 in Ertz. Thoughts? 23.
Oh, hold up. 3 firsts?
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'll take the 3 firsts.
What? No, you're taking it.
Seems expensive. I love Drake London as much as the next guy, but that seems expensive.
Yeah. I mean,
that's expensive.
I wouldn't be giving. Just with the way I play, I would rather have 124 first over the 112 pretty easily, just because all the risk is on the 112 side. And then no matter what it's projected, you never know. And then I'd take the 2 other firsts over Drake London pretty comfortably. So easily the firsts.
Yeah.
I think we're saying James Conner being traded. He's not being cut because of that dead cap.
Yeah. I did say cut and traded, but then I remember. Wait, shoot! I think his dead cap hit's pretty high, and
it could be traded.
But traded. Traded is more like the outcome.
I will say that I don't necessarily believe that it's the kind of thing where in today's NFL, that's just a cap hit you can eat. I don't think teams are running to trade for him. So
I
think he's just going to be there and just play it out. You got to field the team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He's someone who could be moved at the trade deadline. Like that does happen.
Yeah, like a team who's desperate for a running back. They need they need help. Like that could be an option.
I also don't think the Cardinals are going to want to admit until the last minute that Kyler Murray is not actually going to be ready.
They're going to be saying Kyler Murray looks great. He doesn't. He's never going to look great.
Ryan, is it a new mic?
No, it's just placed in a different spot, so it looks new.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think it's a new mic. That's awesome. What do you think the Bears do with the number 1 overall pick? They're trading it.
Yeah,
and I think that they trade it to the Colts. The Colts go up to number 1 and pick Bryce Young.
We'll love
it. I really hope
I
not.
could see it.
I really hope not.
I could see it, and it would just be the best. It would just be beautiful.
I really hope not, man.
I don't think
I
they'll.
really
I don't
hope
think they would do
not.
that. I really hope not. Yeah,
I
think
was listening to Travis May on Dynasty.
Who else do you think could trade up though? Because I don't think it. Because I think there's other teams that could trade up.
Vegas, if they don't get Rodgers.
Yep.
Atlanta, Carolina. That's about.
Do you think the Texans could trade up at number 2, or do you think there's no chance?
They're not going to Mitch Trubisky that. So.
I don't think they will.
Oh, they're going to get a boat. Someone just asked what will they get from the number 1. They're going to get everything.
A lot, yeah.
They're going to get so much for the 101. Everyone's going crazy.
I do think there's a huge market for the 101. I mean, there's teams that, there's teams that don't have a lot of assets, but I think a lot of teams will be in on it, or a lot of teams could at least try.
Yes, 100%.
See, it'll be interesting to see how far down they want to go, because just at the top, like Jalen Carter and Will Anderson are 2 really good defensive prospects. If they go further than 4 with the Colts, they're not getting them. So we'll see what happens.
I think they want to go to the Colts. I think that's really what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that's a very solid move to make. I mean, obviously depending on what if do you think Michael Pittman could be involved in that trade?
No.
You don't think they would trade Michael Pittman?
No, I don't think so.
And Bryce Young have no one.
I mean, they have no wide receivers, and they have nobody.
Players like that are rarely traded in those kind of big deals. I mean, it does happen, but it's rare. They're usually not pieces of deals. They're usually who's being traded for, but it's rare a player like that is like thrown into another deal.
Yeah, usually not.
208 or Cam Akers?
I'd rather have Akers.
I think, yeah, I'd rather have Akers also.
It's Akers.
Not by much.
It's Akers. It's Akers for me. It's pretty clear for me. The 208 is just such a dart throw, and the Akers, the opportunity for the backfield is there for Akers, and there's not many other running back competition here. I mean, the opportunity's there, and he showed up towards the end of last year. I think he could show up again next year. I go Akers.
I agree.
What's the best quarterback you could recently get with just the 103 in Superflex? CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting anyone above that.
Oh, he's saying trade for?
Yeah, you're going to trade. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you could, but I'm not running out to do it. You could.
Yeah, I feel like you're not going to get anybody you want.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
You're not going to get anybody in the top 8 tier. You're not going to get anywhere in there. And then I think you'd be extremely lucky to get if you got someone like Kyler or Dak or someone in that tier. I think you'd be extremely lucky to get them with the 103. And after that, I don't want any guys there.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
I'd obviously try. I think that's a great point. I would love to try that, but I don't think you're going to get it.
Tua's kind of scary, though.
Yeah, he is. He's a little scary.
I don't think his career is over or anything, but I can understand if you were scared.
Yeah, the Tua fear is definitely real, and it's
yeah.
Well, Pittman's not good, but it's
value is
going
to be.
But
yeah, go ahead. Pittman's value is going to be like Amari Cooper. I don't know about that. They're not really similar, so. Maybe not. I mean, we'll have to see.
I think it means just boring, steady wide receiver production. I think that's kind of what he's getting at there.
Yeah. They don't feel similar to me, though, to be honest with you. Those are not players. I wouldn't draw a comparison between those players, I would say. For me. Part of the thing about Amari is he came in the league so young, and Pittman did not. So that's already
Amari Cooper's also a top 5 pick.
Yeah, they have completely different valuations and value curves and different play styles. I mean, everything about them is different. So I would not compare those two.
Amari had to be the wide receiver at one point, right?
Anything for Amari? I don't think he ever was.
That
was in the Odell era. That was in the Odell era.
Right? Never mind. You're right.
Yeah, the Odell era.
Maybe never number 1.
Maybe before Odell played. Maybe Amari was the wide receiver 1. Who knows?
Odell is since he came into the league through 2018 was like the hard 101 forever.
Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah. Cooper is a buy low for contenders. I mean, Cleveland doesn't have a
fair
corner.
because Watson. Can he get any worse than last year? You couldn't have gotten any worse than last
I
year.
don't think he can get worse.
No, he's not going to get worse. He's only going to get better.
Hate
and that's
Amari.
better for Cooper.
I don't hate Amari's value. I actually have him ranked slightly higher than his ADP. But is he top of my list for buying for contenders? No. I don't think he's going to win you a title by himself. So, as someone who's older, who's
the
not
upside
a
is low.
Player,
the upside is low.
I do think Cleveland is going to add another wide receiver. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is just okay. David Bell, I feel like looks kind of like a failure. I think they're going to add some competition. This mock draft here has Josh Downs with 43 overall to Cleveland.
Ooh, I like that.
That'll be competition. And I think would lower Amari's value a little bit because I think people like Josh Downs. Yep. Like I said, I actually agree with this comment about Connor on the Cardinals being compared to Jamal on the Lions. I think they do like him, and I think he's just going to stay. I don't see him going anywhere.
That's fair.
I got Watson for the 103. Yeah, to me, there's like a Deshaun Watson. I call it a Deshaun Watson penalty. You can call it a Deshaun Watson tax if you want to look at it that way. You can look at it however way you want. But for me to take Deshaun Watson on my team, he has to come at a significant discount, and this is not a significant discount.
No, you're paying C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young.
Well, that's not a significant discount, right? So
no, it's not.
I would probably not do that.
No,
it's not for me.
I would stick with the one in a super flex, assuming it's a super flex.
Yeah, of course.
I would stick with the 103. Yeah,
but Steve would love it, but I disagree. Okay, Glenn has the 6, 11, and the 12 in 1 QB this year. How come I feel dirty and thinking they are worthless? Well, I think this class has been a little bit of a disappointment, especially in 1 QB. I wouldn't say that they're worthless. There are still good players in this class. It's
them all
not
for the 101 draft piece.
Yeah, they're not worthless. No. You can't do that. They're not worthless.
Really? You don't think you get 3 firsts for the 101? The 106, 111, and 112?
No, I think the 101 is worth a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, significantly more, yeah. I think it would take like the 6, 7, and 8 at least, if not more.
Wow.
Especially in 1 QB. But anyway, what I would say is that they're not worthless. Wait for the combine. Your hype will come. Patience. Yep. Just like relax. Everything will be fine. It's all going to sort out. Last year, this time in Superflex, Malik Willis was the 102 and Isaiah Spiller was the 103. That's where we were in February 14th last year. In 2019, Kelvin Harmon was the 101 and Hakeem Butler was the 102 at this stage. So everything is fine. Let's have patience and relax. We don't know what's worthless and what's not yet. I cannot imagine a situation that Jameis retires. I don't think he's going to retire. Where does he go? No, I think actually the bridge between Jameis and the Saints is totally burnt. So I don't think he's going to be there. They're going to release him. And I think Jameis could have that job on the Cardinals. I mean, there are other things. He could be a backup, but no, he'll never be back on the Saints. There's bad blood there. Also, Jameis is a Sean Payton person, and the new Saints regime is kind of purging all of the Sean Payton people. So he will not be there.
Send him to Denver, compete with Russ.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's someone. Green Bay to be Jordan Love's backup, something like that. That's the kind of job I think he's going to get. Green Bay is Jordan Love's backup. Pittsburgh is Kenny Pickett's backup. That kind of job.
Could Jameis be like one of those like veteran like competitions like for Atlanta with Desmond Ridder or Commanders with Sam Howell? Like, could he be one of those? Or do you think he's like? Or do you think he's like better than one of those guys?
He's kind of in a weird range in that I feel like people are more sick of him than they are of like Baker Mayfield and Gardner Minshew, but he's not as like a steady hand as like Andy Dalton or Teddy Bridgewater. So like or Jacoby Brissett especially actually. So he's kind of in that weird middle zone that I feel like people just aren't interested. I don't know. I think he's just going to go and be a backup somewhere. I don't think he's going to be I think people have seen enough of Jameis Winston starting. I don't think teams have any interest in that. So, like, I think Pittsburgh's backup or Green Bay's backup to Love, Tennessee's backup to Tannehill, if they really just hate Malik Willis and they need a real backup. Indianapolis is backup to the rookie quarterback. There are options.
Yeah,
Houston.
there are plenty of places he could be.
Yeah, Chicago back up to Fields. He's gonna get a job, but it's gonna be a job like that where he's not competing for the starting job. But we know if Jameis Winston ever gets in the game, he can be played in fantasy, so he should still be rostered in all Superflex leagues.
Yes.
Moving Tua in the past was a good thing. Let's see. This one here, trade 101 for 106 and Waddle. Absolutely, I'll take the 106 and Waddle. I like Bijan, but not that much.
Yeah, that's
I don't
crazy.
know. I might like it that much.
That's crazy.
I think you might be able to get more, honestly.
I
Come draft time?
don't know. That's Jalen Waddle and JSN or Addison. I don't think
it's the same.
That's the most you'll ever be able to get. You're never gonna be able to get more than that.
Yeah,
it's crazy return. I mean, Jalen Waddle's a top 5 dynasty wide receiver, and then you're able to get a top 2 rookie wide receiver or Jahmyr Gibbs if he falls.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs could fall. You gotta keep an eye on that too.
Yeah, I'll take the 106 and Waddle. This is the kind of cash out to do.
Yes.
You're gonna do a cash out. And then this is actually the last question we have. Traded 102, 111, 112, Cam Akers and Irv Smith for Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
It's not cheap, but I'll have it. In a 1 QB, I don't think you're going to be able to get anything better than that.
I think
these other things are all kind of ancillary pieces. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson.
I think I'll take Jefferson as well, like especially when you make it a 1 QB. It makes it a lot more because in a super flex league, 112, 111, 112, and 102 might be a bit excessive, but
it's a little bit much if I'm giving up Bryce Young plus all of those other things.
Plus all those and Akers and Irv Smith for Justin Jefferson.
All those other and 2 other later first and all those other things, and I could get it in a super flex, but in a 1 QB, Jahmyr Gibbs at 102 are the top receivers, not going to be anywhere near the value of Justin Jefferson. So this is for me. Even the other pieces are not enough to swing me to the other side. So I'll take Jefferson.
Yep.
But we got through all of the questions, trying to keep the shows a little bit shorter. So keep them more digestible. You guys got anything you want to plug?
No.
No.
I mean, follow me on Twitter. I'm at HutchinsonB_FF, and you can find all the content I do from there.
We're all right here.
We're all right here on Twitter.
We got our rats on the screen. We're good.
Yeah.
I will say for me, catch this show every, my shows every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern on this channel. And then that's my Patreon, which you can follow me along there if you want to see my Patreon content and all the stuff in the Discord. And if you get in there, you can ask questions for the Patreon only question show. Questions from the patrons. The YouTube show is for everybody. But if you want your questions to be read on that recorded show, questions will only come from patrons. So that's a way to, get on there. I appreciate that a lot. And as always, if you're still here this far into the episode, if you would
gonna end with our
like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Hot take of the day.
Trade for Drake London, a hot take.
No.
I'll
allow it.
He's gonna finish as a wide receiver 1 next year. How about that to the hot take?
Here. I think the group hot take can be the Colts draft Will Levis.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
good with that?
Will Levis, no 101.
Yeah.
I've been betting that at 10 to 1.
Put some fear in the Colts fans.
I've been betting that 10 to 1.
Bet it. I really don't think it's going to happen, but I would bet it at 10 to 1. But yeah, thanks to the audience. Thanks to the co-hosts. And one more thing. If the Derek Carr signing happens, I will do a solo, maybe a short video on that. So check that out this week because I will record something for that. Other than that, I will see you all next time. Peace.